Radiant team ban. EG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to ESL One Hamburg. This is going to be from the
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Evil Geniuses versus Complexity. I haven't had the luxury of watching a lot of NA Dota because I've been assigned to a lot of South SA Dota, happens at the same time, but it's my understanding that Complexity are kind of on a tear right now.
Radiant team pick.
Spirit Breaker.
Look at the bans. Jakiro gonna get a rather early boot out here. I mean, we usually see Jakiro. I feel like he's most often in that third box, and when he picked up, still kind of early. But
5 seconds remaining.
do you really think this hero is first ban material? I don't really think it is.
Radiant team pick. Pack. EG's turn to pick.
Earth Shaker.
Radiant team ban.
Silencer.
Like they'll throw a little bit more respect towards Complexity because they pick up the Spirit Breaker
remaining.
first. I think one of the better 4-position heroes to have on your team, but also with that
5
Silencer
seconds remaining.
here that we've seen mixed in quite a lot, and is a hero that you sometimes just need a reason to pick up, at least for right now, going up against a Puck and an Earthshaker. That combo-breaking power of the hero for Evil Geniuses is going to say, yeah, Complexity, you got a lot of initiation power.
Radiant team
Shaker
ban.
and Puck, man, it's hard to actually out-initiate that, except unless you have a Silencer. So, seems like a pretty safe opening for Evil Geniuses. Complexity, perhaps starting things off, more so on the aggressive side of things, but just barely. Puck, of course, is a great hero to be when you're also facing up against a Spirit Breaker. Very difficult to lock down that hero, even if he is going to be going towards that offlane role. As we have seen some teams mix in, perhaps even more so than mid nowadays, maybe about the same amount.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. EG's turn to pick.
Warlock.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
It does kind
remaining.
of cut both ways, though. Like, yeah, Evil Geniuses, they are going to be able to decisively win in these team fights. Like, just look at the ultimates of Complexity. You don't really have to explain it too much more than that. But at the same time, Complexity's ultimates, I guess with the exception of that Puck, are on a pretty long cooldown as well. Warlock and Earthshaker, Warlock in particular, is so much weaker when he's just walking around and when Evil Geniuses know that the Warlock doesn't have his ultimate. So it is going to be certainly a timing-based kind of game plan here for the complexity side. And for Evil Geniuses, they have already one of the better heroes at dealing with that in the Silencer. The thing that they're perhaps missing, I wasn't going to say the Pugna, but Pugna's certainly great here, is some way to out-initiate complexity, some way to jump in and make sure you're able to grab a Warlock or an Earthshaker, because Spirit Breaker, he's decent at starting fights in the laning stage, but when the complexity side is actually full 5-man, it gets a lot more difficult to actually initiate onto these heroes, unless you have a hero like a Bat Rider type of hero, which is still possible, I suppose, but EG going to instead opt for the Pugna first. Netherward, of course, is going to be great at counter versus those team fight heroes, but it's also just a Pugna. It's going to let them take down the towers.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team back.
Anti-mage.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
It is looking like it's going to be entirely feasible, because the strongest complexity are in that team fight. As far as killing towers are concerned for complexity, it kind of requires them to win a team fight first. Like, Phantom Lancer does some decent damage to towers. The Warlock Golem, I suppose, is okay, but everyone else for complexity, like the base heroes, they don't really kill structures all that fast. And Evil Geniuses don't really have all that much defense, but for sure the split push speed from the Anti-Mage and his Battle Fury build, the Pugna can drop a couple blasts on a creep wave and then it's dead, so he can teleport back or keep pushing if he wants to. So it is somewhat of a concern here for complexity that they may not be able to force those fights, and at that point, yeah, they will be kind of forced to disperse away from that 5-man. Try to get the pick off on the Anti-Mage, try to just hold down their lanes. With this Phantom Lancer pick, at least he's a hero that is more than happy to grab Boots of Travel, so they're going to have that kind of mobility response from complexity. But for sure, it seems like Evil Geniuses, as long as they don't get caught in bad spots, as long as complexity aren't constantly smoking for the Anti-Mage and keeping him down, it seems like they should be able to stall a lot in this game. I want to see complexity, though, pick up a little bit of a building hitter for their last pick.
EG's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Behold the horn of Magnus.
Monkey King.
Choose your hero.
There's some extra right-click damage from the complexity side. Again, isn't going to be like an all-star building hitter, but is going to just have another hero worth of right-clicks in. We've seen Monkey King mix in Desolator on occasion, so that's great for pushing down towers. Also great for killing off Anti-Mage. I mean, you mentioned that 3-man rotation. You really don't want to, if you don't have to, spend an Echo Slam to kill off an Anti-Mage, but with a puck, with the Monkey King's damage output, as well as that extra stun from the Boundless Strike, you definitely have what it takes to at least find the X Major. Monkey King is definitely an all-star as far as that is concerned. So I like the last pick for complexity. I think I like the last pick for Evil Geniuses, though, a little bit more. Obviously, Magnus, Anti-Mage, we've seen that tear up games time and time again in the past, but this also gives Evil Geniuses a little bit of team fight power. It also gives them just that extra AoE line nuke in that Shockwave. Try to counter push, try to split push complexity, or just try to deal with complexity when they do ball up in 5-man. Evil Geniuses, yeah, as long as they manage these team fights well, as long as Fear doesn't get picked off very early on, which is very possible, then I feel like Evil Geniuses are in a pretty good spot here with their draft. Just stall and then lean on an Anti-Mage to win the game.
Prepare for battle.
The Monkey King is kind of just a hero that's perpetually on a missing in action type of status. And when you see him, you know that it's actually him, and you're not going to be fooled or anything like that. But sure, it is going to be a little bit more of a map-wide threat. Taking a quick look at these lanes, it looks like they're about what you would expect. Although Universe is playing the Pugna, and it looks like he's going off lane. Maybe not completely what you would expect, as it is going to be Sumail, the Magnus, going over towards mid for right now. We have Warlock thinking about making a push up that high ground. Probably would not be a good idea by yourself, bud. So, Pugna going to the bottom lane by himself. Magnus going mid. Do you like this kind of unexpected lane swap? Pugna typically is a hero that can run into some pretty serious issues on an off lane by himself. See how much farm they're actually able to get. The Magnus matchup versus Puck. Magnus isn't going to be killing Puck anytime soon, but for sure is supposed to be fine. In this lane with the Empower, base damage actually quite high, though you're matching up against Puck. Puck's base damage is kind of disgusting. It's up to a top lane where actually a lot of brawling, Crit and Fear trading hits very evenly, and they're actually cycling back and forth really well. Like, the Monkey King has picked up the level 1 Jingu, and of course you need to get those stacks up, but every single time Crit takes 3 shots, Fear takes 3 shots, they just back off, and the Monkey King at that point is working with no abilities because he just can't get those stacks up. So just putting a lot of extra damage onto this top lane of complexity, and the regen already is being pulled out a lot on both sides. They messed up for the first time, and now Monkey King with the Jingu is just going to push everyone back. The Monkey King has, I want to say, universally good matchup versus other melee heroes. And for right now, with those stacks up, you can see Arteezy is just like, well, can't do anything about this. I'm just going to go ahead and hide. So that's the whole idea of the lane. Get the Warlock there, you'll poke and prod a little bit, but he just wants to make sure that this Monkey King is able to mess with Arteezy's farm as much as he can. And I love seeing teams just pick up heroes and then just super aggressively, or maybe not super aggressively, but somewhat aggressively mess with the anti-mage. Too many games anti-mage, I feel, is given a free ride, and so many times he just ends up winning the game because of it. They're going to charge in towards Mu, but Arteezy, yeah, he's going to deny them the Jingu stacks again.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Oh, mid lane. Dire Courier already down. The Shockwave, though, will kill off Limp. It looks like they... I didn't actually see it. Well, still getting first blood on the Magnus. Pretty ideal, and they're going to charge again towards the Monkey King. They'll need a 17% roll. There it is. It's a little bit too aggressive, though, going into this tier 1. Still a lot of damage onto Monkey King. Still, he doesn't have those stacks, so to be able to keep him low. Losing the puck is never good, but Magnus getting first blood, probably worth the loss of the Courier, or at least, you know, not super bad at the loss of the Courier.
Tis not for thee.
He's still feeling himself on this top lane. Does have the Warlock level 2, although you know, actually using a level 2 Warlock compared to a level 1 Warlock, at least in this scenario, isn't really going to be a huge difference. They're going to charge one more time in towards Monkey King. Crit takes 2 hits. Arteezy takes a handful as well. Boundless Strike is there. Now the Jingu is active, but the damage may have already been done. Arteezy will blink out of there. Crit's going to cycle back in, and Fear just right-clicking the entire time. It costs them a lot of HP, but they do get the kill. Get picked up by Fear, gets the intelligence. Nice little win there, unless Arteezy dies to this Bond. He's dead. Yeah, Bond and Word. Oh, and they wall off Sumail in the mid lane, too. He's level 5, but he does not have a skewer. Is that... Yeah, that's a tight wall. Looks like he was actually getting really far in there, but still. Another rotation from Siegfried. First time gets a Courier. Second time actually gets the Mag. And ultimately, it's really darn important for Complexity to kill off this anti-mage, but killing off him, killing off the Mag, it doesn't really get much better than that. Mage hasn't. Still has a lot of regen for himself. It's mostly because of the Shaker. Kind of be camping out the mid lane a lot more so than the bottom lane. And at that point, Pugna versus the Phantom Lancer, you do stuff like this, just got big nukes on him. Though this time will get walled off. He is going to have one Tango to cut through, puts himself in a corner, and doesn't have any more Tangos to cut with. He is going to have the stick charges, will salve up. Seems like Chessie will throw in the Doppelgang and at least cancel that salve. Oh, they're going to go top again? Okay. We're good. We didn't miss anything. Not really. The Pugna is still going to be able to return to the lane with that Shrine, so decently full HP, and make this Phantom Lancer's life maybe a little bit more difficult. It really only gets dangerous once the levels seriously come up. Pugna is able to shove back the wave to the Phantom Lancer's tower.
The bounty which my matriarch will prize.
See these moves here from Arteezy, just 3 trade hits with Mu until he has 3 stacks, then blink away. Of course, he has the mana advantage, I suppose, with that mana break ability, but yeah, still is going to be able to scrape together a little bit of gold here and there. Probably just waiting for Mu to jump in actually onto Fear. There's a charge coming in from behind, which will push him back towards the tower. Boundless Strike does not kill off the Silencer. Now the turnaround is Mu does not have any mana. Will try to just lifesteal. It won't work. They will end up killing Fear, I think, with Bonds. Yeah, he didn't actually cast Shadow Word, but Silencer down for Monkey King. Not a great trade. And another charge in. Universe doesn't have a ton of mana here. Only has 1 spell cast. Will opt for a Drain. have to cancel it. That didn't really do all that much, as Z-Freak also going to rotate in with the newly respawned Monkey King. Definitely a party up on the top lane, and Anti-Mage, ooh, he was actually salving. He's going to get that canceled. Now I think he has to leave the lane.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Also able to pressure back mid quite a bit as well. sumail has gone for a very right-clicky heavy build. He's going to pump fake RP a couple times, but he's already caught with the coil. Z-Freak now coming in. We'll get a free wall. Still there's no skewer, so sumail's just going to die. I mean, Magnus versus Puck is not incredibly easy for the Magnus. Like, it's still a lane that requires some finesse. Fear on bottom is going to get dove by the Phantom Lancer, just immediately taken down by Chessie by himself. Oh, everyone's dying on EG all across the map. Chessie will doppelgang away from the life drain. He'll be just fine afterwards. But these lanes are rough, and giving this Magnus the mid lane with the intent of kind of catapulting him to higher levels of empower, faster blink dagger, seems like it may not be working out as EG would have hoped.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yes.
Dire's bottom tower
on
is under attack.
this Anti-Mage working on just power treads right now. Doesn't even have the boot component. Against the Monkey King and the Warlock, you don't really need all that much movement speed. It's really all about that blink. Still chain stuns for complexity. Not really strong enough to kill off Arteezy unless he's severely weakened beforehand, and maybe jump in with the tree dance or something along those lines. But Bonds, I think we'll see. He does have the blink out as Crit is going to charge in, bump back move, force out a lot of mana to be spent by these heroes, and they don't really spend all that much themselves. Shadow Word and Bonds do quite a bit of damage, and Arteezy gonna have to take the second trip back to the face in like 3 minutes. I mean, usually you want to take 0 trips back to the fountain as Anti-Mage.
Invisibility.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Not really where you want to be. That's not really where Fear wants to be. My bad, guys. Limp with his rotation is going to show up towards top lane. Didn't even use the coil. Means maybe he's going to be able to help out Chessie as he does cancel his TP on the bottom lane, just opting for this tower to be destroyed instead. And this is such an aggressive push from heroes that you wouldn't really expect aggressive tower destruction out of. And now Anti-Mage's face is just going to shrink. He will get a little bit of empower action from the Magnus, perhaps a little bit earlier than he's ordinarily used to, so I guess a kind of budget battle fury there for the Anti-Mage somewhat, but still this Phantom Lancer is untouched, this Puck is untouched, and now Complexity, they're starting to get a little bit closer to those big level 6s. Warlock just needs to witness 1 more creep kill, Earthshaker just needs like 2 or 3, and then things get really bad for EG.
Denied.
A prize.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Keeping the Monkey King up towards the top lane as well, just to snipe any foolish support hero that decides this top lane is safe. Anti-Mage not touched this lane. Is actually, I think, jungled and then straight went back to the fountain. Will TP out now. It's going to go towards mid, trying to converge on Limp. Shockwave will be dodged. Of course, that means he cannot dodge the rest of this charge in, but now you have a Chaotic Offer. You don't need to dodge. Spear out is going to keep sumail safe, but crit, his TP is not going to work out. Shadow Word should not work up against this Magnus to actually kill him. But still, they turn things around, save the puck, kill off the Spear Breaker. Perhaps not perfect. You want maybe a little bit more of that second kill with the Chaotic Offering, but man, Complexity are not going to complain. They're really rapidly approaching not one, but two Blink Daggers on the puck and the Shaker, while also keeping his Monkey King and his pressure up towards top. Fear is up top lane, but he can't really afford to farm top lane. It's just too dangerous.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
There is an Echo Slam, so they do have that additional stun tool. Z-Freak. See the blink away. Kyle will see the Anti-Mage in position afterwards. Certainly are ready to make this Anti-Mage's life even more difficult. He's been jungling the past 3 some odd minutes, and with Empower it's not all that bad, but for sure you still see Anti-Mages in lanes. I would say in like 80% of games with Anti-Mage by this timing. Like he just isn't ready to go out yet, and he's gonna maybe pick a little bit of a fight here with Limp, but Limp actually does show off his Blink Dagger in that mid lane, so EG know about that. Knowing about it and actually playing around it are definitely two different things, as they don't really have that much fighting power back towards a puck should puck make initiation. They still don't even have Global Silence. Fear's only level 5.
Illusion!
A bounty which my matriarch would prize.
Okay, just trying to clear out some Ancients, taking quite a bit of damage in doing so. We have a handful of heroes still converged on top lane. Ward placed though by Kyle. We'll see pretty much everyone. They're just waiting for these additional items to come up on Moo. Echo Saber with the Blightstone, and he can kill pretty much anyone by himself on a one by one basis. But still, he's just happily farming this top lane. Still, Chessie's happily farming this bottom lane. We have 2,700 gold, man, on this Phantom Lancer. I would still say Diffusal, but saving gold always makes me question if these guys are actually going to make a different item play. Usually you just buy Diffusal parts.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Veil and running into a half-health Earthshaker. Silver platter kill there for EG as Z-Freak just wandering around a little bit too confidently. That was a smoke gank from both Universe as well as Crit, so they get a freebie in the Earthshaker, and actually had a pretty darn good time too. He's approaching his Blink Dagger pretty rapidly and able to slow that down, but Veil on the Pugna now with maxed out Decrepify, of course maxed out Blast. They are able to do a lot of damage here if the Pugna is actually able to get that full channel off. So maybe EG can leverage this Pugna now, start to get him involved in this game. Right now, though, it's the Magnus. Can get jumped on by Moo, immediately skewer out. He'll be fine.
Yes.
Oh, Crit charges in, but gets swarmed with these mana-draining illusions. Now the Chaotic Offering onto Crit as well, with another Purge and a couple more right clicks from Chessie. Well, they'll take him down, and also Purge off that Decrepify with a Doppelgang forward. Another Purge charge. Use onto Universe, blast upon blast. We'll clear out these illusions, but he still needs a little bit more space here. The Chaotic Offering's doing a lot of damage here. Sumail does come in and skewers in the Warlock, but even if they kill off the Warlock, it's a Warlock. Who cares? Top lane is still being pushed in the meantime. Chessie is at actually full HP. And they only get the Spirit Breaker, but it was all in the efforts of space creation because they took down the top tier 2 at the exact same time. EG, they can't actually answer this Phantom Lancer, at least not right now. They need an RP to land. Still find the Warlock. Again, just actually, that's a killing spree Warlock. That's actually worth quite a bit. But, yeah, still chessy, man. Diffusal Blade shows up in a big way. Uses, like, all the charges first fight. Easy being chased after by a Monkey King. Takes 2 shots, and man, that does a lot of damage. Go save her Blightstone. Real deal here for the Monkey King. Freak does have his Blink Dagger as well, as EG, yeah, will walk right into a scan. On scan is... That's like the ideal scan right there. It flashes red, then goes green, then flashes red. So Complexity know that there's, odds are, more than one person in that area. Will they actually still catch anyone? Because Moo is in the front right now. They don't have any vision of him yet. He's hiding in the trees. They do scan him, and now it goes green. Trying to catch a monkey in the trees, man. Good luck. And out right there, just making sure that whoever goes to that top lane is gonna be all that safe. He does see Arteezy blink in. Still know who's right behind him. It is in fact the Spirit Breaker, who's just chilling right now. Clean up this creep wave. Arteezy, your Battle Fury timing looking like pretty soon actually. So, you know, this does represent the way that EG come back into this game again. It's all about that anti-mage, all about that split farm to get that anti-mage that space. And now that he can actually farm without the Magnus hanging around him all the time within power, maybe the rest of EG heroes can afford to separate and get something dumped. Right now, though, Complexity. Smoke on Limp is going to break, although the Magnus is going to jump out of there before they can actually come in. So Smoke is not looking like it's going to be successful.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Not nothing. At this point, they'll take any single structure they can get. It doesn't look like it's really going to be free because bottom lane was pushed really hard. Not with any heroes right now, but still creep chip damage onto the tier 3s. Not something that EG can afford to ignore. Same exact thing for the mid tier 2, except this is actually being pushed by heroes, and it looks like it will be cleaned up by Chess's illusions or creeps, whatever. Still down in favor of Complexity, so no, Sumail. Your out is going to catch the real Chessy, and that means that there's more lances. That means there's more illusions. With the fissure there, Z-Freak's going to jump in for the chain stun. Sumail is going to, yeah, he's going to pop. They do use the global silence, and they will find the Phantom Lancer. And quite a bit of damage to him, but Moo now has arrived with the Jingu. Idle thinking about dropping that rock, but into the Nether Ward, not really going to be super fun for him to do so. Global Silence will make it a 1-for-1 trade, and that's a fine trade for Evil Geniuses as long as they don't lose anyone else here. That is still a very long cooldown to be expended from the Silencer, and for Complexity, they still have that Chaotic Offering in their back pocket.
Illusion.
Me a coin?
Coin for me.
9k is a pretty good amount for 22 minutes in. Above average, I would say. But still, this is really good map control for sure. For complexity, there is somewhat of an issue that the area that is under their control, like the part of the map they have control over, is not really the ideal part if they want to stop this anti-mage from farming. He still has full access to his own jungle, and so now complexity are going to make a movement towards that area where they're not going to find anyone for right now, but this bottom lane and the mid lane near that secret shop doesn't actually represent a lot of valuable farm time for the anti-mage. They are going to wrap around and find Crit. It's not really the hero that they wanted, but it's the hero they take. Easy kill on Spiritbreaker. Fear still sticking around top lane, will TP out. And now it looks like Complexity are going to look to get this area of the map under control. The Dire Jungle, that's really how Anti-Mage is going to lean on this Battle Fury and the Empower to get his gold.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Sumail blinks out, but Mu wasn't even jumping on him anyway, so blinks, skewers.
Excellent.
Dire are scanning.
Well, killing off the global silence is certainly a good way to start. 30 seconds, not the longest timer to be down for a silencer, but Complexity don't expend anything for that kill. They will lose a tier 1 in the meantime, Universe and Arteezy getting to work down there. Complexity really go for Roche right now. They do have the Desolator on the Monkey King, so yeah, Roche on. Going to be dropping pretty quick, despite how honestly bad Vandalmancer is versus Roche. Not really sure if EG really care to make a move here. It seems like they'll just have to give this up.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Your song has fallen into the radiant.
That Roche is actually going to give Chessie just enough gold to complete Manta style, so Global Silence not even all that great anymore, at least versus this Lancer. It wasn't fantastic to begin with, honestly, but just not going to stick to now 2 heroes at the Complexity side. Great. Tries to charge out, but Z-Freak read him like a book. Fissure and cancels the charge. And they do have no Manta style on Arteezy, but he's just going to turn around and try to go for Limp. He does have backup coming in, but the backup's coming in here in the form of Moo. Tries to go for Sumail, forces the 4-staff skewer out. Full retreat here as Arteezy maybe still hunting for a little bit of puck, or maybe just trying to get into a position where he can farm safely. Bottom lane Universe kind of forgotten about by the Complexity side or ignored. Either way, still going to be a tower down.
Radiant's bottom tower is fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire structures are fortified.
Easy's not hitting buildings just yet. They will start throwing all their spells at this Phantom Lancer, but Phantom Lancer throws all the illusions back at Universe, and now out of mana, this Pugna has to back off. This style of pushing for Complexity with this Aegis is so safe. Like, just let Monkey King land the Echo Saber, hit with the Desolator on the tower. Oh, jump in, but Magnus got red with the Boundless Strike. Is going to still skewer a couple of back Global Silence and the RP. Looking for that MK. coil and Echo Slam, though, going to make a nice revenge play as they will lose MK, but they gain a whole lot in exchange. A lot of stun action going on here for Complexity, but they have blown most of their load. They still have the Chaotic Offering. They'll drop it. Chessie is going to make a disengage out. Easy still can chase. He still has that Mana Void, and he's going to find a Warlock, but now get purged up. Chessie will get popped, but that's just the Aegis. That's perfectly fine for him. Stun onto the Anti-Mage. They don't have any more stuns, unfortunately. So maybe Monkey King and Aegis for that tier 3 tower. Handful of kills. Perhaps not necessarily as great as complexity we really would have liked, but tier 3 down means shrines have been taken down. They're still pretty happy with this result.
Dire's top shrine has fallen.
That was even what looked like to be a botched initiation there from Sumail, because he blinked in looking for an RP/skewer, and at the same exact time, just unfortunately, the Monkey King was laying down that boundless strike, so ended up getting stunned, but still was able to handle Mu pretty quickly with that RP skewer back. It's going to be a lot more difficult to do that in the future, since Monkey King is looking now at a BKB as his next item. So, another answer to that global silence, which Fear hasn't really been able to use all that much in this game. Just got it way too slowly and way too few opportunities, and now, at least versus these cores of complexity, silence isn't going to be that ace in the hole that it normally is still 30 minutes in the game.
Radiant are scanning. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, credit to...
Dire's bottom shrine is under attack.
I was just about to say, like, credit to EG, where it's due. Despite how rough the early game was, they've managed to dodge a lot of kills. Say that Universe is kind of being stalked by Limp. We'll see if he's able to make it out here, but pretty much all the heroes that... Okay, Universe is in a lot of trouble now. Orbin and Silence. He doesn't have Force Staff, and he will actually dodge the coil. Got out of range with that Force Staff just in time. Limp still chasing forward, though. Gonna check the trees to see if Universe juked in there. He didn't, and now with the bonds, they have a Yule Scepter to cancel a TP. Universe just running out, though, in like a super straight line. Still Limp's gonna cut through in front of him. And now maybe has a chance to TP out. He's still silenced. Can't quite get the Decrep TP, and even if it was gonna be that, Chessie was here, so gonna be a long chase, but they lose Mu elsewhere. As it seems like, was there an RP used? There was.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
A prize.
Still working with a lot of gold. Been very, very safe in this game. Only died once, and that was, what, like, very early on in the game. All the sacrifices, really, for coming out from EG, where heroes kind of are meant to be sacrificed. The Silencer, the Spear Breaker, those supports, just tanking smoke ganks, making sure the enemies spend spells on those heroes instead of the heroes like Anti-Mage. Complexity is still with this map control, but you can see this gold lead that they once had still is there, but it is slowly but surely starting to shrink as Complexity, they are itching for a team fight, but this is what EG have kind of drafted themselves for. Like, they are using these heroes they've drafted to avoid team fights exactly in the way they're supposed to be used. Although Crit does have a Shadow Blade, is going to be charging in towards the Monkey King. That's it. Okay.
Mine.
This is not really getting much done here for Complexity. They're farming a couple creep waves, a couple jungle camps here and there, but compared to the farm rate that Arteezy's working with now, all the way in the Radiant Secret Shop, there really is no contest. This is usually going to be broken by like a big item like a BKB or an Aegis cheese, which I'm pretty sure Complexity are just waiting for. They're either that or waiting for someone to get really stupid and trying to pick them off, but it does seem like this type of stalled out game state is favoring EG quite a bit, unless Complexity decide to make a move. Oh, coil onto 2, including sumail. He does have a BKB. Boo's thinking about throwing out some monkeys, but will decide against it as they're just going to try to focus down the range racks. Charge coming in from the side with an RP onto everyone. Where's the follow-up? Arteezy's finally going to ride with the Mana Void. Does a lot of damage. That's going to bring everyone low. Not dead just yet, as the Echo Slam's going to turn things around somewhat. They only have the Monkey King so far. Z-Freak, though, will fall in the end, and now everyone is going to fall, actually, as Arteezy shows up big. We'll make it a full wipe. Okay, that is going to be a triple kill for Arteezy. And a really, really nice RP initiation there from sumail with the Mana Void. That's textbook stuff there with Magnus Anti-Mage.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
See if this is actually going to impact Complexity in the way they're approaching this game, because for the past 5-ish minutes, they've been just wandering around as a 5-man group. EG have been kind of defensively 4-manning, but Arteezy's been out on his own. If Complexity decide to change up their strat, do you think that's actually at all viable, or do you think like still 5-manning is the only way that they have to actually still take this game? This, maybe? Easy. Does have a lot of backup here. There's a silence of the fissure. Z-Freak jumping in as well. Lots of damage with the RP in response, and now with the BKB popped, Arteezy just gonna go to town. Instant double kill. Moo has dropped the circle of monkeys, and it will do a lot of damage to Arteezy, but not quite enough to kill. That's going to be no casualties for EG, although Limp looking to make it 1, can't quite catch up to crit. They lose the Lancer and the Shaker, and they, well, drop the Anti-Mage low, I guess, but Arteezy still survives, and EG win another team fight.
Double damage.
Radiant has
They'll take down Roche, find a Warlock in the area.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
This is, in theory, the time, because there is no RP on the Magnus. Still 30 seconds out for that. 40 seconds off their global silence. Yeah, they do have the Aegis on the Anti-Mage cheese on the Mag, but like this is still, I want to say like the best chance that Complexity have of actually making something happen. Losing Z-Freak though is not a good way to start that off. Dual Scepter will not save you here, and that Shaker, the wrong spot of the map. Another casualty as EG now skyrocket to a 9k lead of their own with tier 3 down in the bottom lane. We'll start taking all these shrines. Game is hard.
Radiant's bottom shrine has fallen.
Mine.
So difficult to find this anti-mage, let alone kill him, and of course with this Aegis on him, I want to say it's just impossible for Complexity to actually do that. If they are going to find the anti-mage, he will definitely have backup in time for his second life. So Complexity now kind of on the defensive side of things, still playing exactly as he has been. No boots, no problem. You have Blink with Arcane Rune. He will just start shredding all the waves. He kind of just wants Complexity to get go on him because he knows that his backup is not too far away. He's fairly tanky and he's got BKB, he's got the Aegis now, fresh Abyssal Blade. So if he finds any one guy out and alone, Teasy can definitely put him down.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
On the front lines, takes all the spells that Complexity has, and only loses about a fourth of his HP with Aegis. Not a big deal, just gunning for the racks. Mid lane in the meantime, still being pushed in by Universe. Yule Scepter just stall. Arteezy, please stop hitting our buildings. But Arteezy is actually going to stop hitting the buildings, so he decides to hit the creeps instead. Maybe mana burn him out with those illusions, but no, he just walks in, takes racks, and walks back. Complexity now facing down a 15k disadvantage. Arteezy still will do the exact same thing. They need to find an angle onto Sumail. They need to find an angle onto Universe. Really anyone who's just not Arteezy at this point. They got to take out those defensive heroes. And Limp's going to jump right in onto Sumail. Can they bring him down? Force Staff's out. Still has the BKB. Initiation coming in from the Monkey King now. He's trying to focus down Sumail first. Does pop the cheese, and Sumail will survive. Arteezy pops Limp in the background, and now he's going to find the Abyssal onto the Phantom Lancer. He will doppelgang out, but Arteezy's still hot on his tail. Still has that Aegis, still very comfortable in this fight. He's going to blink backwards instead. Going for Moo with another strike to take him down. Jesse and Z-Freak looking for the Echo Slam. He's getting stunned, though. He can't cast it. It's an ultra kill for Arteezy, and Earthshaker just sitting there stunned the entire time. Cannot cast a single thing. GG well played is called. And that is how you play Anti-Mage Magnus.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Victory.